The Bank of Namibia will be hosting a thought leadership event next week, Thursday. It's happening on the 17th. And as you just mentioned, so the focus is going to be how can we leverage innovation to drive green finance.
99 FM, your feel-good station. It is Skrypt in the afternoon on the drive. If you are just joining me, you are in the right place. And as promised, I have two very special guests in the building today. And as we said, you know, the chat is sustainability, the direction the world is going and how we can be innovative in the way we go in that direction. And the two special guests in the building, once again, as promised, we have Naufiku Hamunime, technical expert, international relations and sustainability at the Bank of Namibia, and Tuna Brock, who is a principal innovation hub officer. Firstly, welcome to 99 FM.
Hi,
Thank you so much, Skrypt.
Thank you for having us. It's great to be here.
It's really great to have you. I mean, we've been talking about renewable energy, and you know, there's so many terms and phrases being thrown around right now. It's exciting times in Namibia, but it could get a lot more exciting, right? The world is shifting. The global focus now is renewable energy. What role would you say the central banks can play in promoting sustainability?
Yeah. No, thank you so much, Skrypt. Once again, it's great to be here. Thank you for having us. So I think from my perspective, as we begin to experience and see more frequent and more severe extreme weather events, sustainability, ESG, climate change is going to be one of those topics that becomes relevant to everyone. I'm sure if you guys have family members who are farmers, everyone is talking about the drought and talking about the real impact it's having on their households, their pockets, you know, their productivity, all of that. And so from a central banking perspective, we've also taken time to reflect and have conversations about, you know, as we are trying to manage and mitigate climate-related risks, what should the role and responsibilities of central banks be? And honestly, it's been a conversation that's been happening for a number of years. And it's come to now land squarely on the shoulders of what is your mandate? What are you responsible for doing? And most central banks typically have two mandates, and that's price stability and financial stability. So price stability speaks to basically making sure that you don't have huge fluctuations in price changes for consumer goods, and that also that your money, so like the Namibian dollar, we don't see it, you know, change value very quickly, you know, in quick successions of time. So for us, we've begun to notice that climate-related risk does actually have a bearing on our core mandates. So in terms of price stability, I was mentioning or speaking earlier to the droughts that we've been experiencing. And Namibia, actually, if you look at the data, we've been having a lot more frequent occurrences of drought. We had a drought in 2013, 2016, 2019, and as everyone knows, this year we had a severe drought, and it was so bad that we ended up having to declare a national state of emergency. And so everyone is aware of how it impacts agriculture. We're not able to produce as much domestically, and we have to import food, and that can lead to price increases, which is speaking to price stability. But even in terms of power generation, it has an impact. I don't know how many people actually realize that we generate a lot of our domestic energy from hydropower. So if there's no water in Ruacana, for example, that means we may have to import from external sources that drives up costs for everyone. So immediately an impact on price stability. Financial stability, for maybe people who don't know, speaks to making sure that we have a sound, stable, and resilient financial system. And how climate risk can impact that is, you know, if you have a financial institution that is very exposed to climate risk, let's say they lend a lot into a sector that is very vulnerable to climate change, that can have an impact on the stability of our financial system. And so we as a central bank need to make sure that we're monitoring that. So there are really three key reasons why, as a central bank, we're, you know, taking the time to be more active. The first one is we need to be able to respond to, you know, how climate risk impacts on our core mandates. Secondly, we also need to make sure that we are encouraging financial institutions to, you know, focus on sustainability, have some sustainability considerations. And then the third one is we need to lead by example. You know, if we are telling financial institutions focus on sustainability, we need to make sure that internally, our own operations, there's also a sustainability focus there. And I think going forward, we're really excited to see how we can collaborate with the financial industry players, outside of regulators, and, you know, just make sure that there's discussion happening around sustainability.
Now, like you say, sustainability is the end goal for us all, and the different roadmaps and pathways to get there, and some more innovative than others, you would say. Green fintech. Tell me more about that, and the role it plays in achieving sustainability in the financial sector.
All right, Skrypt, thank you so much for that question. So green fintech, I think to me is, and to Namibia from a wider audience, is a fairly new term. So let me take a step back. Fintech, let's dissect it. So fintech is essentially technologically enabling innovation that introduces new business models, new products, applications, processes that have a behavioral change on our financial system. And usually we're introducing fintechs because we're trying to solve something, whether it's ease of access to financial services, financial inclusion, or now in this case, sustainability. So as the fintech industry is further diversifying, green fintech is one of the subcategories, and it represents the synergy between technology, finance, and sustainability. There is a definition published in 2022, and it defines green fintech as fintech solutions that align the behavior of financial systems with green objectives. And there's more interest and focus is going into fintech because it's also identified as a tool that can assist the financial sector in achieving their sustainability objectives. So you asked, what role can fintech innovation play in achieving sustainability? And there are a number. The one that I'll touch on is that, as we know, fintechs offer the opportunity to offer a diverse range of products and access to these products. And green fintech, just innovation in the financial sector, allows us to democratize the access to green finance. And what I mean by that is that traditionally it is your big institution, your established companies, they're the ones who have access to green finance, such as green bonds. And so the pressure is on them to finance these sustainability initiatives. And by introducing these fintech platforms, we are able to widen the pool of people who are able to participate, and this includes your smaller businesses, including our citizens. And when you're able to allow more people to participate, we're then able to bridge that financing gap for us to achieve sustainability.
Now, I want to quickly just touch on something very interesting that is coming up, thought leadership on leveraging innovation for green finance. What can we expect? And I mean, the title is a mouthful. Can you just firstly break that down for us, and then just let us know what we can expect and how we can follow along as well?
Yeah, so the Bank of Namibia will be hosting a thought leadership event next week, Thursday. It's happening on the 17th. And as you just mentioned, so the focus is going to be how can we leverage innovation to drive green finance. So really, it's going to be really exciting because it will be an opportunity for us to have a discussion, but for the financial industry basically to come together and speak to this important topic, which is becoming more and more relevant to everyone. So I think from our side, I think for people who want to follow along, I just want to note that it will be live streamed on Facebook, so you can always follow along if you want. And we're going to have a lot of important conversations. We will have the Minister of Environment and Tourism who will be giving the keynote address. We'll also have the Governor of the Bank of Namibia, Mr. Johannes Gavahab, also provide an address and speak to the role of the central banks in when it comes to climate risk, managing climate risk, and also sustainability. And we're going to have a number of really interesting panel discussions where we'll have, people who are industry experts speak on what are they doing, either from the side of financial institutions and fintechs. What are they doing when it comes to sustainability? So the first panel will kind of try to provide an overview in terms of what the sustainable finance landscape looks like in Namibia. And you'll be surprised, there's actually quite a lot of activity happening. I think Tuna was just speaking earlier to how we're seeing, green bonds being issued. We're also seeing sustainability bonds being issued. So there is activity happening.
Yeah.
And I'm really hoping that if we have, people sharing their success stories, it would encourage more activity and more participation, and also encourage fintechs to know that there is financing available. We just need to make sure, we find a way to make it compatible for everyone. There'll be a panel discussion on fintechs and innovation and how we can drive the sustainability agenda forward. And then lastly, we'll also have a panel discussion which will again focus on the role of central banks. And this one will be exciting because we'll be hosting the Deputy Governor of the South African Reserve Bank. And we're also going to have colleagues from the Deutsches Bundesbank, which is the central bank for Germany, and also Bank of Ghana, Bank of Egypt. So people who join will be able to have, perspectives from basically all over the world on how different, countries are dealing with sustainability and actually driving it forward and making sure they have, climate resilient economies and banking sectors. So yeah, very interesting times.
And when will this be for those out there that might not have caught that?
Yes, so it's happening next week, Thursday, on the 17th, happening from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And yeah, it will be taking place in Windhoek, but we will be live streaming for anyone who wants to catch it.
Well, we thank you both for coming through and having this chat to us. It is, once again, exciting times, looking forward to the future. Scary times because of, the realities that we go through. But once again, sustainability is the end goal, and innovative ways to get there excite us all. So I just want to thank you both for taking the time to speak to us today. And if you are listening and wondering who these ladies are talking to us about sustainability, about renewable energy, about how finance and green finance play a major role in that, we have the pleasure of having Naufiku Hamunime in the building and Tuna Brock as well. Once again, thank you for joining me.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
It's good to be here.